ጤና ይስጥልኝ። ይህ የታላቋ የኢትዮጵያ የጥበብ ድምፅ ነው።
Most of the early hominids in the world have been found in Ethiopia. These include Ardipithecus cadaver, 5.8 million years, Ardipithecus ramidus, 4.4 million years, Australopithecus anamensis, 4.1 million years, Australopithecus afarensis, between 3.7 and 2.9 million years. Now, please note that the 3-year-old child called Salam, found by the famous paleontologist Jerusmani Alemsaged, would precede Dinknesh in terms of the timeline. Dinknesh, or Lucy, of course, would be made pretty famous by the American anthropologist and paleontologist Johansen. We note the other categories. Our own species, Homo, emerges around 2.3 million years ago. There are numerous sites. Ardipithecus cadaver at Adu Assa, that's where the skeletal remains were unearthed. And here you have Adi at Aramis, Salam at Dikika, Dinknesh or Lucy at Hadar, We shall now focus on the Proto-Aksumite and Aksumite era of Ethiopian and Eritrean history. The scales in front of us date to 500 BC and were found at Yeha. Similarly, these objects were found at Yeha and date to the same period, although we are not sure what they indicate. The images that we are looking at are actually artifacts found in Tigray. It is suggested that a panther is represented in the background. But the most exquisite of all, of course, is this wonderful oil lamp that depicts a lion pursuing an ibex. It's made of bronze. It is actually an artifact from Eritrea, from Matara, and dates between the 1st and the 5th century BC. The Aksumites played dice, and this is clearly seen by these artifacts dated between the 1st century BC and thereabouts. Agordat in Eritrea contains some of the oldest pots in the region, dated about 2300 BC. We don't have any of those pots here, but the time frame for the pots that we are viewing is generally approximately 500 BC. We have a wide variety of pots, a wide variety of bowls also. The bowls, basins, pots, and jars have been classified by archaeologists. We have round-bottomed bowls, one-handled bowls, foot-ring bowls. We have foot-ring bowls with broad rims, pedestal bowls, as well as handled bowls. In the case of basins, we are talking about basins with incised interior, such as the one that we are looking at, in this case a bowl. We also have the foot washer basins. We have animal modeled basins. We don't have any example at hand. Note the pots, maybe cooking pots, there may be cauldrons, there may be pots with collars, pots with ledge rims, etc. And with respect to jars, human-headed jars are common, and so too the globular jars, some being handleless, others single-handed, and we have cases of what has been classified as whole mouth jars. This is a wine jar dated around 500 BC. On a different note, this is an incense burner. It's very solid. It may have been an impressive seat for a dignitary. There are inscriptions on the chair. This beautiful necklace is made of malachite and precious stones. It dates back to about 500 BC and was found at Yeha. We have here representations of the moon. This is not unique. We have similar representations coming from another Nile civilization, in this case Egypt. Quite typical of Nile civilization is an animal head on a human frame, and this is exactly what we have here, dated 500 BC, found in Tigray, and here it's the panther that is on the human frame. According to Mr. Bekele of the National Museum of Ethiopia, the architectural plan in our view refers to the Dungul Palace. He points out as well that for the local inhabitants of Axum, this is the palace of Queen Makeda. There are 52 rooms in this structure, and we know that there have been extensions and additions throughout the ages, dated between the 5th century and as early as 1000 BC, based on recent carbon-14 dating. These artifacts were found at the palace. The braided hairstyle on the right should be noted. The sign in our view may be astrological, or we may be dealing with astronomy and a representation in terms of intellectual ideas. Finally, we conclude with a reference to some of the coins. Coinage emerged around 270 AD, according to some scholars. The emperor's head would be inscribed on the coin.
His personal sin. So it was customary in the ancient times, when somebody dies, they buried with him his belongings. So these were all found from this grave, you see. So a scientist, archaeologist, chooses where he works. He doesn't simply come here and dig, yeah? He studies first the place. What people did in that place. Here, they buried their people. Here, they had their religion, worship, okay?